Hey everyone, it's me, Matthew. Welcome back to another episode of the Whatta podcast. We've made it all the way to 13, guys. 13 of these. You know how insane that is? Because I say it every single time that I think it's insane, so it's no longer insane, it's just me being annoying. That's fine too. My voice, don't know what's happening with it right now. I think I'm tired, but I shouldn't be, because I got at least 7 hours of sleep. Yes, that's right. This is being recorded the day it's supposed to go out because I didn't get the chance to do it yesterday because I was driving. That's right. I came home for Christmas break. I almost said for the weekend. I was like, it's Monday. I came home for Christmas break. I'm here at home. I'm not in my dorm. I'm not on campus. I'm just gonna be spending time with family. Just trying to chill and relax. It's going to be a lot less hectic than when I tried to do anything in Thanksgiving break, since I still had so much actual work that still needed to get done, especially file related. Why would they do that? Oh, go enjoy your Thanksgiving break. Also, here's 7 papers. Write them all by the time break's over, but enjoy your break. Make sure to spend time with your family, but also these papers are due the moment you walk in on the Monday after break, but enjoy your break. That's so dumb. I've always thought that to be just incredibly dumb. Like, hey, I'd like to have a nice break, and I know you would too, but the fact that you've just put this on me means that you don't want me to have a good break. No, I'm sure that I know college is weird. Every college is different, and they just have to go about things their own ways, their own special ways, and I can't stop them. They can do as they please, I guess. What was I about to say? I was about to move on to something, to a statement. Can I get a word? Can we get a statement? I just held out an imaginary microphone to no one. That was wonderful. Yes. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. So yes, I came home this weekend. I spent the majority of my weekend with my same wonderful friend, my same amazing friend from the other time when I had to drive down to Florida. It's real nice. It's fun being in a small Georgia town. But then it just kind of gets goofy because, as some people might notice, I'm not white. So I suddenly stand out everywhere. I can't even say in the crowd. I can just say everywhere. I'm suddenly an outlier. And it's very funny. I won't lie to you. There's just the twingest moment of fear, but other than that, it's just big goofs. Just lots of big goofs. I got taken to see a Christmas show at the local high school there. And every time I looked around, I found another set of eyes that had already found me and was just looking, trying to decipher what I was doing here. I was like, oh, hello. Hi, it's me, an African American. I know there's not many of those around here. I'm a pretty special breed. I stand out a lot. This is the worst. I'm so sorry. All of you have to hear this. YouTube's gonna have to hear this, and they're gonna be like, can we let that slide? And they're gonna say no. This is gonna be the first podcast that gets blocked or something. I doubt it. That would be awful. But no, yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of a Christmas show. I got to see around, just around pretty much. It was raining, so there wasn't really much of an ability to go anywhere, which was fine. But yeah, it was an all-around nice time. I'm cutting that chunk of me talking about that short because honestly, there's nothing much more to talk about. Everything else I would consider more personal because I like to have at least a slight boundary between my real life and what I do here. But I just couldn't not mention the Christmas show one because that was funny. The amount of people that were just staring, and it was all old adults. It's very goofy. Yeah, so then I'm home for the holidays. I'm having a good time. I'm vibing. I'm excited to spend some time with my family. Just wrapped all the gifts last night. It was way too many. It's way too many. I finished off a whole roll of wrapping paper. Not to say it was a full roll. I just mean I finished off a whole roll, which made me feel good. You know how satisfying that is to finish the roll? I thought I was going to have just like this weird amount left where it's like, oh man, I've got a weird amount left. Who's going to wrap a gift with this? but then it finished off and I was like, oh, okay, well that works. Yeah. I'm not the worst rapper in the world. I'd say I'm pretty okay at wrapping gifts. Obviously, every time I wrap a gift, it looks like is it SpongeBob? Who is it with the rubber bands? I feel like it was Patrick Star, where he looks all like hot in the front, and then in the back, you go around to the backside and there's just rubber bands. It's like holding his like fat back. I feel like that's how me wrapping presents looks. It's like you look at the front and you're like, wow, this is really nice. This is real smooth. And then you go around to the back and you're like, oh, well, I see where all your handiwork is, right? Yeah, this is a lot. You did this? Oh, okay. That's how my wrapped presents look, and it's pretty funny. Yeah. But I did well, okay? I got everyone presents ahead of time. I brought them down during Thanksgiving break. I just couldn't wrap them during that break because there was too much happening in such a short amount of time. And I knew there would be too much happening again. Which is why I wrapped everything last night. I was up till 1 wrapping. Because I said, if I don't do it now, I will literally never get to wrapping these gifts until it's Christmas. And that's not going to work because there are people that need to be given gifts. And I need those prepped. Excuse me. I did not mean to burp. But I did. Anyways. Yeah. I'm sitting. It's interesting, you know, as you get older, you kind of just look at your childhood room and you go, wow, I need to make changes in here, but I can't. Because what would I do? Like, I'm staring at the curtains that I have. Not thick enough ones to block out light, but just the ones that it's like, well, this person has blinds, but there's still a lot of light coming in, so let's put some curtains, you know, because you're a white family in 1982. And they have Transformers on them. Just 2, for some reason, just Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. And it's old, because it's just from the OG first Transformers movie, which makes this really old, now that I think about it. Oh my word, I didn't think about how old this is, and I'm just kind of staring at it while I talk, and I'm just really thinking, I'm like, why did this exist, right? Why did I let this just continue to thrive? Because it's still up. It's not like it's balled up in a corner and I'm going to put something else up. No, I don't have anything else that I can imagine putting there. So it's just Optimus Prime and Bumblebee just staring down at me, and they've been doing it for years and years and years at this point. Couldn't tell you how many years. It feels like it may have been a decade, if I'm being honest with you. Could have been a decade. And I would never know. I would not know. Yeah. Do know I'm tired though. What did I... Oh, that's the other thing. I watched West Side Story. That's right. There are thoughts in my brain, I promise. I watched the new West Side Story. Steven Spielberg directed it. His first ever musical, like movie musical, which I think is pretty dope. He had, the only other thing close to it that he had was having directed a musical sequence at the beginning of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. The Anything Goes sequence. That's the closest thing he got. And I was like, oh, well, you know what? This wasn't bad. And you know what? This wasn't bad. West Side Story was honestly really, really good. It was really fantastic. I enjoyed it a lot. I think honestly it doesn't just improve upon the original, but it does things better than the original, which is going to upset some people. No, well, there's going to be a lot of offense to it. It's 60 years old at this point. This year, actually. The original movie came out in 1961, only 4 years after the musical itself had debuted on Broadway, which feels insane. I feel like there's usually a bit more time, but I guess even Dear Evan Hansen, that film came out this year, and the musical didn't hit Broadway till what, 2016? It's 5 years ago. That gap was almost just as short. That would have been funny if it was 2017 it came out, then a 4-year gap. And that movie wasn't good, but this one really is. It vastly improves upon the things that the original movie just would have never been able to do well, because the world was just a bit racist. Like the fact that there are no Puerto Ricans in the original movie. There's one actually, and it is I just blanked on her name. She was the original Anita. My phone is charging, or else I would have just already. Oh, Rita Moreno. Look at that. I remembered. Didn't need you, phone. Stay over there and charge. What are you gonna do? Suck up energy? You're sucking up energy, bro? For what? For fuel? You need it for fuel? Ugh. I don't need energy for fuel. I eat food. What do you mean food has energy? Yeah, the original Anita from 1961, Rita Moreno. She was the only Puerto Rican person in the cast. Everyone else is just like Italians doing awful accents in dark face, because I can't say blackface. I won't say brown face. I don't know, tan face. I couldn't tell it to you. If you go look at images, you'll know it's probably the worst form of representation ever seen. Nope, that's a lie. There are worse ones, but it's pretty high up there only because it's so popular. So I'm very, very happy to see that rectified in this version. Because I have a weird stance when it comes to remakes and reboots and all that other jazz. I feel like some of them are weird, some of them we don't need. And if you make one, it should only be to add on and improve, and not just so you can say you make one. Like the Psycho remake, that's a shot-for-shot remake. Why does that exist? That's dumb. This film, the additives that it added, and like the improvements it made, the changes like to characters and to some like beats, every single like new thing just added on and improved the film even more. It was really good. And I really liked it. I would recommend going and see it. That's why I'm not going to give spoilers. If anyone wants spoilers, just come at me next time. Just sink into the chat. And just ask me for spoilers. I'll do it next time, so that the movie can at least get a week out. And that's also my stance on that stuff, is like at least a week. Preferably 2, but at least 1. Because, hey, not everyone has the opportunity to just drop everything and jump into a movie theater that quickly. And yeah, I understand, like, there's a lot of big things that people don't want spoilers for, but also West Side Story has been around since 1961. If you don't know its story at this point, you were probably never going to know its story, because then it clearly does not interest you. Like, there's 60 years it's been out. If you manage to somehow avoid getting spoiled from the original, me spoiling this one isn't gonna do much to hurt you now, is it? But I'll still be respectful, because as I said, there are some changes. There are a couple of differences. I'm sure some people want to go experience those for themselves first before I say anything. I have to burp. Excuse me. That was gross. Wow, just a burp in the podcast. Ooh. I'm sure someone would be like, you could just cut that out. And to that I say no. No. This podcast stays authentic. If I have an awkward pause, there is an awkward pause. You all get to witness it. No one cannot witness it. You all get the pause. Anyway. It's a good movie. Go check it out. I got to see it opening night in a basically empty theater. There was about, I'd say, 6 other people in there that weren't me and the friend that made me go see it with them. And we were all pretty much all sitting center. It was kind of weird. I was like, why are we all just in the center of this theater? It was pretty goofy. And it was a fun time. It was a really good time. It's very emotional. Of course, it's a musical, but not all musicals are emotional, so don't. I know I just set my sentence up for failure by saying, of course, it's a musical, but then not all musicals are emotional. But it is an emotional musical. It's a very heavy, it's a Romeo and Juliet, like, adaptation, if you didn't know. So, of course, it's going to have some Romeo and Juliet-esque moments. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, if you don't understand what I'm getting at. If you don't know Romeo and Juliet, then you really must live under a rock. Sorry. At this point, the world knows Romeo and Juliet. And there's going to be a slow shift to just hating Romeo and Juliet. I can feel it deep in my soul. And I know you can too. Everyone's going to be like, I'm sick and tired of these 2 dummy lovers dying every couple of years. Every couple of years, we get a new one. Every time. It always happens. It's like, oh, what's this? Another film with 2 star-crossed lovers? With rivaling families? His name is Roberto. Her name is Juliana. Oh no. It's Romeo and Juliet. But there are different takes. There's always different takes of things like that. I guess that's where I'll go next for the next point. There's always different variations of it that see us take it in different routes, different weird, unexpected routes that people never know what to do with. They're just like, well, this is a thing. Look at this thing I made. And you're just kind of like, why did you make this? And they're like, I don't know. I was strapped for cash. They don't say that, but there are some weird ones out there that stand out from the crowd. There's Warm Bodies. That's probably the more recent weird Romeo and Juliet adaptation that people might still remember. Not just for the fact that it has an actual happy ending, but for the fact that the Romeo of this situation is a zombie and the Juliet of this situation is a human. I've never actually seen it, and I've always intended to, which makes me feel bad that I haven't seen it, because honestly, the premise seems intriguing to my brain, like a Romeo and Juliet story, where the star-crossed lovering section is over the fact that one's a zombie and the other is a human. And I think it's so odd. Or you get, my personal favorite, Romeo Must Die, starring Jet Li and Aaliyah. May she rest in peace. I'm sure I've mentioned it already, because I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great film. Honestly, everyone should go watch Romeo Must Die, because there's no funnier version, I think, of a Romeo and Juliet adaptation that like strays from the source material than this one. It's another one with a happy ending, which if you know Romeo and Juliet, you know what that means. But it's a lot of fun. It's just such a dumb, wild action film that I don't know who bankrolled it. I don't know who made it exist. Part of me would love to assume that it was just bankrolled by DMX wanting to be in a movie with Jet Li, because he's got like 3 of those. It almost feels like. I know it's just 2, but I want to feel like it's 3, because I know he's got that one, and then he's got Cradle to the Grave, and then there's another one. And I think both of those movies have DMX needle drops. No, I take that back. I don't think Romeo Must Die has a DMX needle drop. May he also rest in peace. I forgot he's dead. I know X Gonna Give It to You does show up in Cradle to the Grave. But in Romeo Must Die, I know the song that DMX did with Aaliyah gets a needle drop at some point, and it's a good song. If you haven't listened to her music either, you really should. I know that there comes a point where someone is like, well, I would have never, I'm not gonna hate on someone for not knowing Aaliyah, for not listening to Aaliyah music. That's fine. She was a great person. She passed away in 2001 in a terrible accident, and this is 20 years later. So I can understand if, for those that didn't grow up with either people who knew Aaliyah or like weren't like from that time, like, you know, I was born that year that she passed, so I wouldn't have known her, but I had family members that did, and that's how I got to know her and get introduced to her. So if you didn't have family members that got to introduce you to her, or if you didn't grow up old enough to just know who she was, this is a good opportunity to just, you know, kick back. Go listen to some of her songs. They're really good. She was a fantastic artist, and honestly, she would have probably been rivaling some of the like long-standing greats of right now if she was still alive. Like Beyonce would be getting a run for her money 100%. There's no way in the world she wouldn't be. I believe that fully. You know what? I'd even say that maybe Beyonce would not get the same hype that she currently gets if Aaliyah was still around. This would be the Aaliyah show. Nala in The Lion King would have been voiced by Aaliyah. That's just... But hey, those are just my thoughts. Yeah, it's just my opinions. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. I don't know why I'm being so weirdly cryptic, but it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, no, it's all good music. Go give it a listen. I don't remember the name of the song from. What is this movie called? Oh, Romeo Must Die. But I'd say go ahead and give that one a listen. It's a pretty solid one. There's another one that I'm blanking on, and then of course everyone's got to listen to Rock the Boat, not just because it's a good song, but also because it's the last one. Yeah, it was. Yeah, if you don't know, because I don't think anyone's gonna willingly go Google it. So sorry, you have to hear it from my mouth. Ooh, you have to hear tragedy from my tongue. Oh. She filmed that the video for Rock the Boat is like on an island. They filmed it on an island, and in the plane ride back with like that everyone was on, the plane crashed, and I don't think anyone survived it. So like, some would love to say that. I'm sure someone out there is like, the video's haunted. Don't watch it. It's not haunted. But it's a very nice way to just kind of like pay the respects to a wonderful artist taken too soon. Yeah. What was that noise? Is that my chair? That is my chair. I have my spinny chair right now. I'm in my my gamer chair. Feeling like a true gamer again. Now that I'm not in that wooden chair. That wooden chair hurts, dude. It's not something of my own volition that I brought in. It's a chair that's just in the room. So, you know, because I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. I'm sure other people have felt the same way. But it always feels weird to see someone bring furniture in to a space that already has furniture. You know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But that's always felt weird to me. Being like, hey, let me just bring some furniture into this home space that's already got furniture because my furniture is better than their furniture. And you're right. If I brought furniture in, it would be better than that furniture. But I'm just like, why would I go buy furniture? There's furniture here. Because that's my mentality. You know, of the like 40-year-old dad who doesn't feel like building an IKEA chair incorrectly. Oh, IKEA chairs. But yeah, that chair hurts me. It hurts me a lot. Hurts to sit in for a long time. My butt does not like it. I'm trying to debate if I want this episode to be short or not. Because I might just let it be short. Because I'm just so lost right now. Don't really have many things to talk about. I could mention the tornado that touched down in Kentucky, tore up through Illinois, which was a scary moment. Because I school in southern Illinois. So it was a little too close for comfort. Just narrowly avoided it by having left before it went and tore through. like I left that like I drove an entire day, and then it was like, oh, here's tornado warnings, and then like the next day I was seeing all the news, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh no, I escaped. That's good. That's good. Okay. So that's it. Obviously, if it's the thing that you're into, prayers and wishes out to the many families that have lost a family member, because there were I think 2 separate buildings that collapsed. As when the tornado went through, like 2 like factory-esque buildings. I think one was a candle factory, and the other was an Amazon warehouse. So my condolences to all of those folk. I don't want to try and make light of a situation like that, because that'd be mean. It was an intense thing. So yeah, I don't have any notes for anything else, because I just straight up don't remember anything else. I know I did my final last week. I know there was a moment where there's like an hour and a half to 2 hours of Star Wars Monopoly where me and 2 of my friends, we played, and we were members of the Beatles. I was John Lennon. One of them was Ringo Starr, and the other was Paul McCartney. We did not have a George. And that was hilarious. Absolutely wonderful. I lost. It was so upsetting. So did Paul McCartney. John Lennon and Paul McCartney lost to Ringo Starr at Monopoly, and they were both so flabbergasted about it. We were like, what? No. Yeah, I did that. I did a quick little just mini stream. That's, again, obviously why I didn't stream this past Friday, Saturday. I did one on Wednesday. It was just some Spider-Man stuff. I was just clowning around. Leave him alone. He's just clowning around. I don't know what that was. But yeah. My brain is just very wackety doodles. Wackety doodles? Ooh. Yes, but I will come back with more notes for next week properly, and also recorded on Sunday so that I'm not tired. But yes, thank you guys so much for listening to the What a Thought podcast. I know the length sometimes varies. I don't care. It's my podcast. I can do what I want. I can give you an hour-long episode. I can give you a 30-minute episode. It's all my choice. I am the ruler of this world. I pretend I'm sitting in a throne, right? I've got one of those big old cool staffs in my hand, like I'm Gandalf, except it's like metal or something. Maybe it's a snake. Maybe it turns into a real snake. It's just a metal like snake staff, and it becomes a real snake. It's humongous. I am the ruler of this world. Reality can be whatever I want it to be. But yeah. So thank you guys so much for listening to the What I Thought podcast. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like and comment down below. Tell me what other things you want me to talk about. Like, please, leave some comments. I enjoy discussing the things that you guys want to get notes on. Not notes on, but like hear words from that aren't from your own head. Opinions. Hear someone else's opinion. That's the word I was looking for. Also, might read a book next week. Might read it. Might do that. Might see what happens. Might see if it gets copyrighted. I am intrigued on that aspect. Will it get copyrighted is the question. Make sure to also check out the link in the description, because I've got a bunch of other things that I do. As I've mentioned, I game every day on another channel. I stream on Twitch, usually on Fridays and Saturdays, but sometimes I take accidental breaks and forget to update the schedule. I also have my social medias down there in case you don't want to put into a comment what you want me to talk about, and you just wanted to DM it to me directly in case it's something more serious or something. I understand not wanting that just floating in the internet space that is a YouTube comment. So yeah, thank you guys again. I've been Matthew. This has been the What I Thought podcast, and I'll see all of you next week.